So I was absolutely thrilled when about 2 weeks ago, Bobby sent me a program for the next 6 months. And these sessions we are going to call workshops now, just for the want of a better name. And I put up the program yesterday, on Monday or Tuesday this week for the month. And I will probably tweak it as we go along. Because how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so we're not even trying, we are trying to, we are streamlining the Saturday morning meetings. We want them to continue. We want to record them and we want to put them out there onto YouTube on our group, and people can watch them in their own time, because we are very, very aware that many people are riding bikes, walking in the walking things that go on around, not only here in Johannesburg, around the world, in fact, on Saturday mornings, etc., etc., apart from those who have the pleasure of sleeping in. So we're starting at the beginning today, and our first workshop has been divided into 2 sessions with an introduction to NeoLife, which I'm going to do. And then, Bobby, you're going to do, we said 5, but I don't think it will be a full 5 of the wellness products. Some weekends, it will be, we will have recordings, pre-recordings done to make, so that people who have, like, Bobby has to go and he does a lot of cycling. He's Ironman, that's right, Bob, Ironman. So, and he's a health coach, so he's working a lot with sports people, etc. So we're very grateful to you for your input and for all your incredible knowledge that you are also going to share with us as a pharmacist, and with a lifetime of knowledge about nutrition and health issues. We're very privileged to have you. So let me just kick off. You're just going to have me without a PowerPoint, but I have got a download, well, not downloaded, I have here from the back office. Can't encourage you enough to keep looking at our back office for information. It's a bit too much on a first look, but if you look for something specific, even on a daily, twice a week basis, you'll build your knowledge very, very quickly. So, NeoLife. So I have used to keep it all as simple as possible. KISS, keep it simple, stupid, or whatever that saying is. This is the new catalog, and it gives you a very good introduction at the beginning of this book about NeoLife. So we could go back right into the 1930s, when I think round about 1936, I was guessing this morning, maybe a couple of years earlier or after, Jerry Brassfield was born. Why I mention this is that his birth date is that it gives us a little background into what was going to happen through the 20th century. And hello, Björn, welcome. I bet you're still keeping warm in bed. So anyway, so Jerry is born, and as a young boy, we've heard him speak at meetings here in South Africa regularly, and he always tells the story. Hello, Hermine, nice to see you. That as a young boy, he had terrible, terrible asthma, so bad that on one occasion, in their home in Portlandville, something in California, he could hear through the wooden walls of the house. His mother had called in the pastor to kind of give him the last rites, to pray over him, because they thought he was going to die. But what his mother was doing, and actually had the biggest impact on the foundation of what becomes NeoLife, she was using the most natural products that she could get her hands on at that stage. And some of us will even remember being given, I fortunately was never given castor oil, not castor oil, cod liver oil. There's a difference. But that was a fish oil that his mother was giving him. And indirectly, what she didn't know, there would have been omega in there. Am I right, Bobby? And that would have been helping to keep the inflammation down in his lungs, and other things that she could find. And he grew up and survived with his brother Bob, at around about the age of 18, and I think this is important for the world that we are living in today as well. His father was telling these boys, go and get jobs. You have to go and get a job. There was no go to university or any of that kind of thing at that stage in their lives. And where the father wasn't around, the mother would be whispering to the boys, just do what you're doing, keep going, don't stop. It's okay. Because they were drawn into being entrepreneurs. And how Jerry found what became NeoLife, I have no idea. But he found this company, or the beginnings of what was NeoLife, or the concept, more probably, which was kind of like knock on the door to door selling, and the beginnings of starting to recruit other people, sponsor other people who became part of your extended network was set in place. And so by the time he was 30, so this is 1958. That's an important date for all of you to remember. You do not have to give all this detail to anyone when you are doing an introduction to the business. But by 1958, NeoLife was established amongst a couple of others, which also are still going in the network marketing world. And within another 10 years, Jerry was ready to retire. Okay, now I'm going to just quickly share with you, because what differentiates NeoLife is what I want to draw your attention to today. Let me just open this. And I want to open, sorry, let me just move this. And I'm coming here. Right, can you now all see this document I've just shared?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So I've just pulled this off the back office. And it used to be published, but it would a very, very useful one for yourselves to download. I'll share it for you all on the group after the meeting. And you can all go and you're welcome to share it with your friends, print it for yourselves, or just keep it as a background knowledge for you. So the company is established, and the picture here, I have no doubt, I was examining it earlier this morning. I'm sure one of these here, probably was still with hair, is Jerry, and a woman whose name I do not know, but she was the first distributor. And you can see here on the outside of her apartment or shop, eat NeoLife with protein. And that's somewhere between the late 50s, early 60s. People were getting going. And in 19, what are we today, 25? 1918, I suppose. We had the 60-year celebration. They'll be getting ready now for the 70th. But here we go, from 1958 to 67, the first years. In the background, we've spoken the last week or a couple of weeks ago about the creation of TreeNN. The thing that differentiates us was being established, the quality and the unique products, starting off, first of all, with TreeNN and then Formula 4. And then by 68, 1977, NeoLife opened its own fully controlled state-of-the-art research and manufacturing facility. So this is the beginning of raising the bar. And we have things like the vitamin C being developed. Now, I didn't mention to you, now I'll bring him into the story of what is NeoLife in the introduction. If you're going to be a distributor of these products, you have to have a knowledge of Dr. Arthur first. He was born in 1914. He lived into his 90s, one of the most extraordinary scientists on the planet. He was at Stanford University and is considered one of the founders of oral chemotherapy, with his busters up in a university in London. Anyway, he becomes involved with the beginnings of NeoLife. And he moved from he was a toxicologist, and he becomes the person who creates the NeoLife Scientific Advisory Board. Okay, so this is now in the end of the 1960s into the 1970s. By 78 to 87, the company has now become, with Arthur First's technology and his inventions and his amazing knowledge, is starting to produce products with building this reputation of excellence. And by 78, they've got an artificial stomach. They're targeting the kind of technology first. There's all the research is being done independently and within the company. And we're starting to get stuff that is completely unique in the nutrition world and leading the race. Then we get into the 2000s. We learn about glycemic control, which is now everybody on the planet kind of knows about controlling blood sugars. NeoLife is there. And along the way, they keep on doing human clinical trials. They don't use animals. They test the things on themselves, especially what the people we call the Scientific Advisory Board. And so the Scientific Advisory Board is made up of 11 top scientists. I was counting, looking at the pictures now, I think at least 8 of them in the last 10 years or so or more have been to South Africa, and we have met them, shook their hands, shaken their hands. And just to put a word in here, next Saturday night, Dr. Todd Miller will be doing a live Zoom presentation from America on men's health, and you just need to register for that online. And then in July, there's this Dr. Abby, I can't remember her surname now, is coming to do live presentations around South Africa. So I don't know whether she'll be getting up to West Africa. Sometimes they do combine with the East, South, and West. I'll have a look out for that for you, Terry. But if you can get to see any of these presentations, please go and enjoy, because you can build your knowledge in ways that you cannot even imagine by doing these things. Now I need to get back onto my Zoom with my face, which is right here. Okay, now I'm not going to move my meeting. I'm going to do this. So without much more ado, I'd like to just show full meeting window. Get ready to open to introduce you properly, Bob. I don't know what you're seeing on your screens, but I just see a row of faces here, and I'm trying to get myself back to being a big face and not a small face.
You're still
Okay.
sharing. You should
Okay, I've
stop
got to
sharing.
stop share. That's what I've got to do. Thank you, Rob. Oh, so easy when you know how. Okay, so that's just an overview of who NeoLife is. We are the leading nutritional company on the planet, and we say that with pride. All right, so I won't want to say much more about the company. I'm going to hand over to you, Bob, as I introduced you at the beginning. Bobby Hammond is a pharmacist by profession who's now becoming a leading health coach, sports coach, Ironman, and very, very, very passionate supporter of the NeoLife nutrition range. Bob, over to you.
Thanks. Am I able to share?
Yeah. Yes, go for it.
Okay. Right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry, good morning. Just give me a second. I was trying to get this full screen out
No
for you.
problem. So while we're waiting, can I just remind everybody to keep checking the dates? So I've mentioned the one for next Saturday night, 8 o'clock South African time. And then also this afternoon, there are meetings in Durban and in Johannesburg. Please keep your eye open for the Monday night and Thursday night meetings. I mean, if you really, really want to, you can have a meeting every day of the week with NeoLife. But it's all here to keep us trained and keep us up to date with the changes and the developments going on. Right, Bob, when you're ready.
Okay, you can all see the screen all right.
Oh, that's nice.
All good. Okay.
Yep.
So this morning, what we're going to look at is we'd initially looked at the thing of maybe going through and we'd said 5 supplements, but what we've done is chosen 3 of the core supplements to go through today. And I think the thing is, just as I'd gone through it as well, it's just interesting seeing all the background. And a lot of what Monica has said as well comes through in, just looking at the individual products. And I think it's important, again, just to basically see what's in these products, what they do, where we can use them, and some of the I suppose the selling points and value to our clients at the end of the day. So effectively with NeoLife, we're empowering health through real food and smart supplementation. And today's focus, we're going to look at some proven powerful core supplements. We're going to be working on basically 3 of them. So NeoLife's philosophy, as Monica also said a fair amount about, is that it's based in nature, and we're using food states, whole food ingredients, which are really important because with so many of the products that we buy off the shelf in pharmacies and elsewhere today are synthetic, and a lot of people say that they're great and it's cheap. And the problem with so much of that is that they may be taking something, but what's actually happening is that they're not really absorbing it, and that's one of the foundational facts of and why, for me, 25 or more years ago, I started using NeoLife products for myself, because they are one of the few products that are produced that you actually absorb and you get value out of it. So, that's the thing that you can actually let your people know as well. It's so important. It's, as Monica said as well, it's backed by science, and plus, over 60 years of clinical research. Also, if you listen to what Monica said at the beginning as well, there is clinical research. So much of this other stuff, there isn't clinical research. And, as I look at these things, if I'm going to use something or I want to promote something, I want to know that there's evidence based that I can base that on, and, be sure that I'm suggesting something that's actually going to work and I know is really good. The quality and purity of our products is also, it's of the highest standard you'll find. For instance, with the omega-3, they look for over 200 plus contaminants, including mercury, to make sure that it is clean and it is the product we can, with comfort and surety, make sure that we can suggest to our clients. They trace all of the ingredients right back to source, so they know where everything came from, and they know that they can back up and guarantee with integrity what we are promoting to others. The GMP facility from which our products come is of the highest standards in the world. A lot of facilities that produce supplements do not actually come up to these standards, although it's a requirement. And that's what a lot of the legislation currently is trying to do, is supposedly is trying to get the guys to the standard. And NeoLife's there a long time ago. That's just how they produce their stuff. And as Monica also said, it's all guided by a trusted scientific advisory board who are looking at these things all the time and making sure that we are providing the best products that we can. So what are the problems that we actually face today? Some of the big problems that we have is that 90% of us don't meet our daily fruit and vegetable needs. A lot of people I hear when I, as a health coach, speak, they say, no, they eat well. But when you actually look at what it is we eat, you ask them to log and you actually have a look at what people eat, very often they're actually not eating as well as they might think. And that's 3/4 of the problem. The other issue is that most of us also have a low whole grain intake, and we also eat a lot of processed foods. That's what most of we eat daily is, in fact, processed foods. And if you go into a supermarket, I normally say to people that I coach, what I want you to do when you go into a supermarket, look at something that's got a label which just lists the name. Forget about a list of ingredients, because what you want, as with the NeoLife products, you want whole food. You want stuff that's not been processed and all the good taken out. And then they say they have to put stuff back into it. You need to be eating whole food in order to eat good food. And there are also nutritional gaps, even with this food that we eat, because a lot of our foods are produced and they are very often nutritionally deficient. And that's something that's a challenge. And that's where organic foods obviously are good if you can get hold of them. And the other things are the environmental stresses. And with food, it's the thing that they're putting so many toxins on our foods. How many people actually wash all of their food and so on? Or when I get my vegetables and so on, the first thing it does, it goes into the sink or into a bowl. everything is rinsed, and I'll use bicarb or whatever to get all the toxins. If I'm not using organic food, get all of that off, so that I try and reduce those impacts and the other stresses that we have in our daily life. We have all the chemicals in, or all the environmental toxins around us. We're interacting with people. It's a highly stressful world we're in, so we have lots of challenges that we've got to work against, and this is where most of our products come in and help. So we're going to be looking at three. The first one will be TreaNN, grain concentrates. And why is TreaNN so important is because it provides plant lipids and sterols, which food processing actually strips out of our grains at the end of the day. And that's to extend the shelf life. They get rid of this, and most of the vitamins and minerals and the good fats are in these outer layers that they've stripped out. So if you're going to be eating just that, you're going to be missing out on these vital components, which are really important for our nutrition or nutrient utilization, our cardiovascular growth, and our development. So that's why processed foods, we've got to be really careful. There's just not enough in them. The key nutrients of TreaNN, it does have omega-6 and 3 fatty acids. And the very important part of these plant sterols, and there's a whole list of them, it's nice to know the names, but not vital to remember all of that. Just that the plant sterols are there, because what they do is they enhance the cell membrane function. So it allows nutrients to get in and the waste to get out. So increasing the efficiency of your cell functioning, which is vital to the rest of how your body works. And that's what helps boost energy and vitality at the cellular level. It supports growth, development, and cardiovascular health at the end of the day, and assists in overcoming this chronic fatigue and low energy. So that's something that you can suggest to the people who you're providing your supplements to, that it will help with and go a long way to. It's almost like a base product, which is incredibly good for our overall health. The second one we're going to look at today is this omega-3 salmon oil plus. And, with a lot of the, like Monica mentioned, cod liver, a lot of these other things that we had as youngsters, we didn't realize how wise our mothers and so on were, and that they actually were providing us with this in a very base form. But it was what did a lot of us much good when we were younger, because they just had a lot of wisdom, I think, in those days. It contains a full spectrum, and this is the important part about our omega-3, of all 8 omegas, not just EPA and DHA. And another really important thing about a number of the omegas that you buy off the shelf is that a lot of them are already becoming fairly rancid just from the way that they're produced. The way that our product is produced ensures that we get the highest quality product, and we have the most nutrient value in these omegas. And again, one of the very few, in fact, I think literally one of the only that you'll find that actually has all of the omegas that we need for our nutrition. As I mentioned at the beginning as well, this is one of those products where, it's ultra pure. It's screened for 200 plus contaminants, including mercury. And this mercury is a problem because, we're finding it in so many areas. In vaccines, it's coming up in fish, like a lot of the tuna that you get. Unfortunately, because of what the contaminants in the environment, we're getting this coming through those areas. So, and it's something that actually affects mental health at the end of the day. So it's important to know that. The other great thing about this is that it's the salmon that's used, it's sustainably sourced from North Atlantic fish sources. So it's again of the highest quality that we get. And just a precaution to remember with this, just when you are suggesting it, is just be careful about people using anticoagulants. And it's not generally a major thing, but it's to be aware of it and have it checked out to make sure that it's not going to cause any problems at the end of the day. So other things about omega-3 salmon oil plus is that it's important for cardiovascular health. It reduces triglycerides and supports healthy blood pressure at the end of the day. Omega is one of those products that actually has a very broad base, because a lot of the problems that we have in terms of ill health is related to inflammation. And this is one of those products that counters that. And it's very important for that. The other thing it's really important for is brain function and cognitive support through all stages of life. And a big thing that we're finding nowadays is that there's a lot of dementias coming about, and a lot of that has to do with issues related to what they're using for cholesterol, and also that we just don't get enough of the proper fats that we need to produce. We need cholesterol basically for good brain function at the end of the day. It's also really important for joint health. It balances our inflammation. It has an effect in terms of our vision. It preserves our macular and retinal health. And also in prenatal development, it supports fetal brain and eye development. So through many stages in life and different people, it has different and very important applications, which is good to remember. And then putting it all together, basically, and that's what we chose this third product to speak about today, is NeoLife's core solution, Pro Vitality. Because the important part about Pro Vitality, it actually puts a number of these products that we've spoken about together, including a multivitamin and mineral. So it has in the product the TRINN, it has the carotenoid complex, and that's a very in terms of your antioxidants, it's an incredibly important part. Again, the carotenoids you generally get from your vegetables and fruits. Just think color when you're looking for antioxidants and carotenoids. That's what you go for, and that's what's in this product. And it also contains omega-3 plus. And then the fourth or final ingredient is this essential vitamin and mineral complex. There are about 23 of them contained in this product. So it's an incredibly balanced, and as you find out, we finish, go through the rest of the presentation. It just has so much in there that supports every single area of our health at the end of the day. It basically combines whole food-based nutrition in one easy pack. So it targets things like the cellular health, inflammation, and any micronutrient deficiencies all in one daily dose that makes it really convenient for us to promote to clients and people that we work with. It's a foundation of our daily nutrient support. It strengthens the immune system and also gives all that antioxidant protection. It enhances our energy. Provides vitality, and also works towards us having healthy aging, which is, I think, one of the most important things for most people. If you speak to anybody, that's, I think, one of the things that they really want to be looking at is to age in a healthy way. And things that we work at, as I say, we spend most of our lives working and so on, and we end up spending those last sort of 20 years of our life in ill health, fighting that kind of thing. And that's really, where we as health coaches, that's what we work to try and prevent that. And this is a product which can really help with that. It supports our vision, it supports skin, nails, bones, and mental focus. And then it provides plant-based phytonutrients as well as the anti-inflammatory support. So with all four of those ingredients, it's an incredibly good and valuable product that if you can get people using that, it's one daily dose, everything's in there. Each sachet provides powerful nutrients that actually support our antioxidant protection, gives us heart health. There's immune function support there. It provides for healthy brain functions. It deals with the inflammation and healthy joints, provides for clear vision, youthful skin, hair, and nails, and also lifelong cellular health. And so it's ideal for busy lifestyles, for athletes, for mothers and professionals, for people right across the board. It's one of those really versatile products that we have in our cabinet to provide to people. So in summary, let's just reflect on the value of these three core NeoLife products in daily life and in the bigger picture. TRINN feeds cells the essential lipids and sterols needed to function at their best. So that helps restore the energy, the cellular communication, and our nutrient absorption. And as we spoke about, also getting rid of the waste. Omega-3 salmon oil provides that balance for inflammation. It supports the brain, heart, and joints. And it's crucial in a world filled with the stress and the toxins and all this processed food that we are constantly eating and taking in every single day. And then the Pro Vitality Pack also brings it all together with the synergy of the cell nourishment, the antioxidant protection, the anti-inflammatory support, and complete vitamin and mineral complex all in one daily sachet. So we have some powerful products that we can in actual fact promote to people with confidence to support their general and overall health at the end of the day. So in conclusion, these products offer more than just supplements, and they represent a solution to things like low energy, which how many people you speak of on a daily basis. This is a problem that most people have. Poor nutrient intake, it's something, unfortunately, that is part of all of our lives because of the lack of quality in the food lines that we are getting our food from at the moment and the nutrient deficiencies that we have there. Chronic inflammation, the biggest cause of a lot of disease is actually inflammation, and we have the products here that will in actual fact counter that. Immune challenges, how many people do you have are very often ill, and they catching colds and they are picking up all sorts of diseases, and that's because we have huge immune challenges because of the resilience that we don't have, and these are products which can help us build our resilience. Premature aging, another big one, which we can use, which we can counter with the products that we have. And it basically provides a foundation for building a life filled with vitality, purpose, and resilience at the end of the day. And that isn't that really, I think, what most of us are looking for. And that's really it in a nutshell. I think that there's so much there as far as our products are concerned. When you just look at the basics of the background of what each of these things can do, and how much support they all give, and the quality that we have in our products. So we have a tremendous range of products that we can provide to people with confidence. Thanks, Monica.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Can you turn off your share?
I shall do so.
Wow. Well, I don't know if there's anywhere else on the planet right now that has a more professional presentation on these products.
Thank you,
Bob.
Bobby. That's incredible.
Amazing.
Pleasure.
We have 4 minutes left. Would anybody like to add anything, or are there queries that anybody would like to ask? I have to always get the last word in, but I'm probably not getting the last word in now. Please think carefully if you have questions to take advantage of the situation now. But I'm always so grateful for these presentations because I've heard them before, but I'm always shocked at how much I forget. And so thank you, Bob, especially for reminding us about Omega, and how important it is for us to be using this particular Omega-3. I know that there was a query last week about there's a problem in the world with there's a shortage of omegas coming, and contamination, etc., etc. Hermine, you sent that article about the problems with omega. So I would like to just say with absolute confidence, I'm very sure that NeoLife, they will not compromise. They won't compromise, and they will maintain the standards that we are used to.
Can I chip in?
Yes, Meryl.
I brought over here to my sister's place some boxes of Pro Vitality, and on the one evening, my sister said, "Oh no!" She woke up the next morning and she said, "Oh, she's got a terrible sore throat. It's been bugging her all night, whatever." So I said, "Well, you're taking vitamin C, yeah, but she'd been taking vitamin C of her own brand, whatever." I said, "Well, you must start the Pro Vitality today." She said, "Okay, she'll do that." Anyway, we used the Beamer as well, and she slept a little bit during the day, but by the next day, she was right as rain. And she said that she's never had such a response before. Normally it'll linger like in bed for 3 days. So I was quite encouraged to hear that.
Meryl, wonderful story. And I think it illustrates what we try to tell people. She doesn't realize, she thinks she's eating a perfect diet, but there
No.
are shortages in what we are eating. either deliberately or we don't realize. And I think that was for me was the starting point for me with NeoLife when I realized that Pro Vitality is putting in on a daily basis what we are missing in our food. And it just
Mm.
gives you that guarantee. And it's amazing. Yeah. So for next week, we will follow the program. Yes, Rob?
1 minute.
1 minute. We will follow what's on the program. Please be patient with us. If anybody would like to contribute and help with doing these presentations into the future, this one we'll share out there, and please, it'll be on the back on the YouTube channel, but you can share these out onto social media and let's get the message out there and start sharing the business along with the products as we go through our day. So without
Can I
much
just
more
say one
ado,
thing quickly? So I just say
yes,
one thing quickly. Can I
yes.
just ask if anybody has anything that they'd like discussed, please feel free to ask about it. We'll be happy to do something. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. We are flexible. We're going to do 1 week, 1 month at a time, but we can switch it around as we go. So have a brilliant day, everybody in Joburg. Have a good, keep warm in South Africa, all everywhere around. Enjoy the comrades tomorrow if anybody are watching that. And Meryl, enjoy your afternoon at the beach. Hermine, thank you so much for coming. Terry, wonderful to have you. Murray, fantastic. We're so grateful to you, Bob. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, well. Ciao. Bye.